The Mountain Between Us is a new movie starring Idris Elba and Kate Winslet and is the story of strangers on a plane who get stranded on a mountaintop and they have to try to survive. All they have is a dog and themselves, some few supplies, and their conversation with each other. They hope to make it out of there alive, of course, but at the same time they don't really know a thing about each other and they're strangers. So they have to learn how to support one another to hopefully make it out of this really terrible situation they're in. So it's a survival story about two people trying to get through a very harsh side of nature, but it's really more of a romance because these two characters have to learn how to support one another when they didn't expect to have to go through this situation when they got on that plane. So as a survival film and a romance, I think the film fails on both accounts. The acting is terrific. Idris Elba and Kate Winslet are not going to give bad performances, and Idris in particular is very captivating as this man who has a past that's very damaged, that he hides, and he feels very haunted by it. And as usual, Winslet is very good as well, but this isn't one of her best performances. It's certainly not one of Idris's best performances either. But the problem with this movie is that the convenience of the things they happen upon and the whole survival aspect of the film feels kind of like they're not even really all that anxious. The actors rarely show too much worry or too much nervousness. They happen upon supplies very easily. They spend 3 days in the body of this plane that's crashed, and the only reason you even notice that is because Kate Winslet says it's been 3 days. After walking through knee-deep snow, Kate Winslet once again says we've been at this for 3 days, and inexplicably the swelling on her knee has gone down in this time period. Am I to believe that's because she's been walking in knee-deep snow for 3 days? They also have a dog with them that never complains. You rarely see how the dog is surviving. I mean, my dog doesn't want to walk in the snow for more than 10 minutes, let alone 3 days. And it's knee-deep for a human. So how do you think that is for a dog? A lot higher. There's just a lot of convenience to the survival aspect of this movie, where it doesn't really feel like they're struggling all that much. The romantic side of it is where the film really starts to fail, though, because you kind of care for them, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that it's Idris Elba and Kate Winslet, two really fantastic actors that I love and that most people really like. And so you automatically want to pull for them because you love those actors. But as characters, they're very weak. And the romance aspect of it is just very melodramatic. This film has one of the most corny final shots I've seen all year. There's one thing I definitely want to talk about that I took away from this movie, and that's the difference between cinematography and directing. This is a major difference and something that a lot of people sometimes combine as if it's the same thing. A director can say, yes, I would like you, Mr. Director of Photography or Mrs. Director of Photography, to please set up the shot this way because this is how I envision it. And if you hire a good cinematographer, they're going to give you a great image. And this movie looks great. The cinematography is very good. But the directing isn't. Because it's the director's job to communicate to the cinematographer to set up beautiful shots that work to provide energy, that make the film flow correctly, that make the pacing interesting, that make the scenes work in the way the story needs them to. A cinematographer will give you a beautiful image, but a great director will tell the cinematographer how to put all of those shots in a row to create a feeling. Yes, it does look great. The cinematography is good, but the directing is very bland, which was disappointing because anytime you have a movie with actors of this caliber, you want it to be good. But in the end, it was a pretty looking movie with some good performances and a very bland romance. I'm going to give The Mountain Between Us a C-. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. And as always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmannized.